In Port Charles, secrets are never just whispers, they're earthquakes waiting to erupt. And as General Hospital builds toward yet another generational bombshell, the foundations of the Falconeri family may be the next to crumble. The tension bubbling beneath the surface between Dante Falconeri and Giovanni Gio Palmieri is more than just a case of teenage recklessness or parental overreaction. It's something deeper, something far more deliberate. Viewers are starting to recognize the signs of a well-worn path, the strained, inexplicable tension, the misunderstood gestures, and the ever-tightening circle of people who know a devastating truth. This isn't just character conflict, this is history repeating itself. For weeks, fans have been puzzled by Dante's abrupt hostility toward Gio. It felt out of character, manufactured even. The incident that set it all off, a college party where Rocco Falconeri ended up drunk and dangerously close to alcohol poisoning, should have triggered concern, not condemnation. Yet Dante's anger was misdirected, flaring toward Gio despite the teenager having no clear link to Rocco's presence at the party, let alone any responsibility for what happened. Gio didn't invite him. He wasn't even drinking with him. And still, Dante's reaction was severe. He accused Gio of endangering his half-brother and even went as far as threatening criminal charges. What's become painfully obvious to longtime viewers is that this is a blueprint. A narrative formula that GH has revisited time and again, introduce two characters in conflict, then later blow the audience away by revealing that they share a deep familial bond. And with Gio, the writing on the wall is getting harder to ignore. Currently, only a handful of people know the truth about Gio's paternity. Lois Cerullo, his maternal grandmother Gloria, and family lawyer Martin Gray are among the select few who know that Gio is not just any troubled young man. He's Dante's biological son, a fact hidden from both father and son for years. But that circle of secrecy is tightening, especially as Lulu Spencer steps into the shadows with her own investigation. Known for her determination and loyalty to her family, Lulu seems poised to uncover the truth, and when she does, there's little doubt the fallout will be seismic. It's impossible not to draw parallels to the unforgettable saga of Sonny Corinthos and Dante himself. When Dante first arrived in Port Charles years ago, no one, including himself, knew he was Sonny's son. Olivia Falconeri had kept that information buried, protecting Dante from the dangers of Sonny's world. As fate would have it, Dante, then an undercover cop using an alias, found himself assigned to investigate and eventually arrest Sonny for his crimes. But the case fell apart spectacularly when Sonny, unaware of Dante's true identity, shot him. It was only when Olivia stormed into the scene and screamed that Sonny had just shot his own son that the truth was revealed. That moment remains one of the most explosive in GH history. The betrayal. The regret. The anguish. It took years for Dante and Sonny to repair their relationship, and even now, their bond is fraught with unspoken tension and moral opposition. Dante's deep-rooted loyalty to law enforcement forever clashes with Sonny's underworld empire. And now it appears that GH is preparing to let Dante experience the other side of that heartbreak. Gio, for all his good intentions and attempts to forge his own path, is caught in a web of generational pain. For most of his life, he's existed on the periphery of the Cerullo and Falconeri legacies, never knowing the full truth of his lineage. Raised with love but surrounded by secrets, Gio has always been a well-regarded young man. That is, until the party incident. Suddenly, the tone shifted. Dante's view of him changed. His demeanor hardened. And the show's narrative seemed to pivot sharply. From being a promising teen to a supposed bad influence, Gio's transformation in Dante's eyes wasn't organic, it was preordained. What makes this twist even more poignant is that the show has leaned on this trope before. Sam McCall and Alexis Davis's dynamic followed a similar pattern of conflict preceding revelation. Alexis's desire to save her daughter Christina led to her pressuring Sam, then pregnant with Sonny's baby, to induce early labor in hopes of harvesting stem cells. Despite Sam's reservations, she complied, only to tragically lose her daughter, Lila. That trauma planted seeds of resentment and mistrust, especially when Sam's brother Danny died while Alexis received a life-saving treatment. The tension between them lingered until Sam discovered she was adopted, adding yet another layer of complication to their already strained relationship. GH thrives on these layered, generational parallels, where characters unknowingly reenact the emotional tragedies of those who came before them. The Gio-Dante storyline is no exception. The audience isn't just witnessing conflict, they're watching a legacy unfold. And what's more painful is knowing that this might have been avoidable. Dante's anger, his need to place blame, is born of fear that his son Rocco was harmed, yes, but also fear of confronting something within himself. A gut instinct that maybe this kid means more to him than he realizes. A dread that maybe the truth is already pressing against the walls of his denial. And the truth has a way of breaking through. Lulu's quiet investigation, spurred on by Rocco's own cryptic question, "Dad, do you know who he is a ticking clock. When Rocco collapsed and had to be rushed to the ER, that moment of crisis revealed a strange undercurrent. It was as if the child had grasped something the adults hadn't. Did Rocco know Gio's secret already? Was it intuition, a slip of the tongue, or something more? Regardless, it's clear that the younger generation is catching on to secrets their parents have worked tirelessly to bury. At some point, the truth about Gio's parentage will explode into the open. And when it does, Dante will have to face the same reckoning Sonny once did. The guilt, the regret, the realization that his harshness may have pushed away someone who needed him the most. Will he see himself in Gio? Will he remember what it felt like to be the outsider, the son whose father pulled the trigger before learning the truth? Lois Cerullo, always fiercely protective of her family, has stayed silent, for now. But her silence is heavy with the weight of love, regret, and possibly guilt. How long can she hold out before the pressure becomes too much? Martin Gray, with his legal expertise and sense of justice, may be the catalyst for a formal reveal, especially if he sees Gio spiraling under the weight of undeserved condemnation. The stage is set for one of the most emotionally charged storylines GH has tackled in recent memory. A son who never knew his father. A father who let bitterness blind him. And a family on the verge of either collapsing or healing, depending on how they choose to face the truth. In Port Charles, blood may tie people together, but it's the choices they make in the aftermath of revelation that define who they truly are. And for Dante and Gio, that defining moment is fast approaching. Will history redeem itself, or will it repeat in tragedy once more? Would you like an image of Dante staring at Gio with conflicted emotion in the hospital corridor to match this article?